Good day, my fellow students. We are now in week 3. We are going to look at theory of production. At the end, you are expected to know the theory of production, key concepts in the theory of production, application of the theory of production. Theory of production. The production theory in economics deals with the process of combining inputs to create outputs. So production is all about what? Converting inputs into output. That is converting raw material into finished goods. It focuses on how firms produces goods efficiently, use the resources available to them, and how they make decisions regarding the allocation of these resources. Key concept in the theory of production. The number one concept is factors of production. Factors of production, we have land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. Land is a natural gift of nature, and land is also a natural resources used in the production process, such as production of minerals, production of water, and land for farming. Labor simply means human effort. Capital can be machinery, can be tools, can be equipment, can be buildings, can be can be money, finance used in what? In production. That is, capital can also be defined as man-made factor of what? Production. Entrepreneurship. The ability to organize the other factors of production, take risk, and innovate to create new product or service. That is, entrepreneur is a factor that controls all other factors of production. 2. Production function. The production function shows the relationship between the quantity of inputs used and the quantity of output produced. So when talking of production function, it is with the relationship that exists on how the quantity of input is being used and how the quantity of this output is being what? Produced. It can be expressed mathematically as Q is equal to F, open bracket, L, comma, K, close bracket. Q is equal to F, open bracket, L, comma, K. The definition of this alphabet, where Q is the output, that is, Q stands for output, L stands for labor, and K stands for capital. It illustrates the maximum amount of output that can be produced with given quantity of input. So the output, to know the quantity of output produced, it depends on the maximum quantity of inputs. Short run versus long run production. Short run production, in the short run, at least one factor of production, typically capital. One factor of production that is typically capital is fixed. Firms can adjust labor and raw materials, but cannot change the size of their factories or other fixed assets. So the size of the factory cannot be changed, and therefore it is a short-run production. Long-run production, in the long run, all factors of production can be varied. Firms can adjust all resources to achieve optimal production. That is, all the resources within the disposal of the firm can be adjusted to achieve what? Optimal production. That is, in this, all the factors of production can be alternated, can be changed. That is long-run production. The law of diminishing returns. The law of diminishing returns states that as more and more variable factors of production are added to the fixed factor of production, production will increase up to a certain level where a decrease will set in as a result of continual addition of variable factors added to the fixed factor. For example, increasing the number of workers while keeping machinery fixed might initially increase production, but eventually adding more workers will lead to less additional output per worker due to overcrowding or inefficiencies. Returns to scale. Increasing return to scale when a proportional increase in all inputs results in a greater proportion increase in output. That is, when inputs increases more than output, it becomes increasing return to scale, e.g., doubling the inputs, double the output, or more. Constant return to scale, when a proportional increase in all inputs result in a proportional increase in output, that is constant. There is equal increase in both input and output that we can call constant return to scale. Decreasing returns to scale, when a proportional increase in input results in a smaller proportion increase in output. That is, input is less than output. Doubling the input result in less than doubling the output. That is, input is greater than input is smaller than output. We call it decreasing return to scale. We have isoquants and isoquants. Isoquants and isocost. Isoquants curve. It is a curve that represents combination of two factors of production that yield the same level of output. They are the production equivalent of indifferent curves in consumer theory. Isocost lines that represent all combination of inputs that cost the same amount. The same goal is to find the combination of inputs that maximizes output at a lower cost. Applications of the theory of production. Cost minimization, expansion decision, and technological improvement are the applications of the theory of production. First, let's look at cost minimization. Firms use the theory of production to determine the most efficient combination of inputs to minimize production cost. Because it is through the theory of production that you can be able to know which of these inputs can be best used to minimize production cost. Because the emphasis here is on economic of scale. That is, you have to know how to make best use or efficient use of your raw materials in achieving output, thereby having maximal output with using less cost of production. Expansion decision. Understanding returns to scale helps firms decide whether expanding production capacity will lead to increased efficiency or inefficiency. So the production expansion mostly depends on production capacity. The third one is technological improvement. Yes, the theory helps analyze how adopting new technology can increase productivity and lower cost. Yes, it is advisable that as production technology is always advancing, it is expected for organization to key into this technological improvement, or business organization to key into production technological improvement, because with the advance in technology, it increases productivity, and then you spend less when it comes to that. For example, you can take a look at when you are using a system to type compared to when you are using your hand to write. You can see that it will save time, it save cost and energy compared to when you are using your hand. So you can see that technology is a system that must be embraced because it lead to increase in productivity and at lower cost.